Welcome to the Essentials of the course Comfort and Health in Buildings, based on lecture by Philomena Bleusen. In most countries, people spend 80 to 90% of their time indoors, so indoor environmental quality is very important for well-being and health. However, most people don't realize that there are many diseases and disorders related to that indoor environment. Let's start with the definition of indoor environmental quality, IEQ. IEQ comprises 4 parts: indoor air quality, thermal comfort, acoustical quality, and visual or lighting quality. Although aesthetic quality and spatial and ergonomic qualities are also part of the indoor environment, this course focuses on the environmental factors. Let's look first at what we know about the relationship between IEQ and diseases. A number of diseases and disorders can be explained by the way our human bodies cope with the different stressors we are exposed to. We have several stress mechanisms available for that, and from research in different fields, it is clear that the relations between the stressors and those mechanisms that take place in the human body causing the diseases and disorders are very complex. For instance, look at the blue line starting from acoustical quality. Too much noise activates anti-stress mechanisms, possibly leading to depression, obesity, diabetes, respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. A repeated exposure to noise is also known to produce cell changes, such as the red line starting from acoustical quality, and cell changes can lead to cancers. Even a poor thermal quality affects anti-stress mechanisms and the circadian rhythms, possibly leading to all 6 types of disorders listed in the last column. Additionally, the activation of multiple stress mechanisms may even reinforce the occurrence of diseases. We will now look at acoustical and lighting quality. Acoustical quality is influenced by noise from outside, such as traffic noise, from indoors, from neighbors and installations, and is also influenced by vibrations. Because of all related diseases and disorders, noise insulation from noise outdoors and indoors and a good acoustical quality are very important. To increase the acoustical quality by decreasing the reverberation of sound, you can, for example, increase the absorption surface area of the space by applying porous materials like curtains and carpets or perforated panels. This may increase a lot speech intelligibility. Thermal insulation of facades and windows also helps a lot against outdoor noise, as does specific sound insulation in ventilation grills. Noise can also be produced inside buildings, for instance by air flowing into the air pipes of the ventilation systems. Depending on the air velocity in the duct, you can hear the rustle of air. The smaller the diameter of the pipe, the higher the velocity at constant airflow rate and the higher the sound level. Additionally, change of duct diameter or of the direction of the airflow can cause a sound effect. To prevent noise annoyance from airflow in ducts, it is therefore recommended to have as less as possible changes in duct diameter or direction of the airflow. Moreover, it is recommended to keep the air velocity in the ducts low, below 3 meters per second in general, but the exact value depends if the pipe is in a corridor, a restaurant, or an office room. The second component of IEQ is visual quality. Light plays a major role in architecture. The parameter visual or lighting quality comprises of aspects such as illuminance, luminance ratios and colors, and aspects you would rather prevent, such as reflection here on the floor, blinding or lack of contrast. But visual comfort is more than providing enough light. to perform a task. Also, view is an important aspect to consider. And a very important issue with lighting quality is the use of natural versus artificial lighting, especially in relation to energy use. Artificial lighting is needed in all buildings, but the larger the windows, the less is needed during daytime. Close to a window indoors during day, the light level may be around 1000 lux, and far from the window it will decrease to 25 lux as an example. There are enormous differences in light levels needed inside buildings depending on the activity to be performed. For instance, for office work, 500 lux is recommended, while 100,000 of lux is needed for an operating table in a hospital. To save energy, lamps with dimmers may be used, reducing the artificial light levels to just what is needed. Another possibility is to account for the fact that close to the window there is much more natural light than far away. That is why zoning, like on this picture, is very often applied. On the left side you see the wall with windows, and the light bulbs are controlled in two zones that can be switched off and on separately. In this part 1 about the essentials, we have looked at the relationship between indoor environmental quality, IEQ, and diverse diseases and disorders. We then looked at 2 of the 4 components of IEQ, acoustical quality and visual quality. The other 2 components are treated in parts 2 and 3. Goodbye.